in theory, gonna go live. Are we live? Are we live? Let's find out. Are we live? Hello, everybody.
Let's check it.
Okay. It's gonna make noise in a second because it doesn't matter how I mute it. I have to mute it when it starts.
Right.
Because
Mine
YouTube hates
still
me.
says
Okay.
we're waiting.
And I am.
There it
I moved
is.
my camera, so now I'm
Are we
in a
there?
weird angle. So, hello everybody, and
Yes.
welcome back to my channel. We are gonna do things, and most of those things will be writing things, but some of them will probably be stupid. So,
Sarah, for some reason, your face is like all
Yeah, I know.
the way. Okay,
that's what I was fixing. It's because I moved my camera,
gotcha.
and so the cut on it was.
Yeah, I'm gonna go to bed about 8.
There we go. So it is all fixed.
Okay.
So we are here, and we're going to talk about how we prioritize, hopefully. I don't know if it'll be helpful, because maybe we're really bad at it. I don't know. But let's go ahead and introduce ourselves. I'm going to go in whatever order I feel like. CJ.
Hi, I'm CJ Blair. I was not anticipating being first here, but since there's only 3 of us, I suppose I should have been. Tonight, I'm going to work on. I'm working on the episode of the South Carolina Chronicles that was supposed to go up yesterday, but did not. So my goal is to get it done and posted before this thing is done.
Awesome. Dana.
And I am Dana Gollin, and tonight I am writing on the second book in the Seasons of Seduction. So yeah, it's called Someday It'll Be Fun.
Awesome. And I am Sarah Sharnover, and this is my channel, and it's very exciting, and you're all very happy to be here. Or else you're very confused, and you don't know what the hell you're doing, and you're going to be real confused when we get quiet for a while. So yeah. Let's see, we've got a bunch of people here in the chat already. We've got Eva, Alice's Busy Bag, Jennifer is here, Shannon, Amber. I'm going to let the dog out, feed the cats, and start dinner. Haley is here, and Michael. Hello. My thing just did whatever it wanted to. Rita Sawyer is here. Hello and welcome. Send Seriousness is here. You made it! Welcome!
Huzzah!
Mary Wembley, and I think that's everybody. If I missed you, it was totally not on purpose. But welcome, and thank you for joining us tonight. I had like a tiny little blister right here, and it got infected, and now it bugs the piss out of me. It doesn't really hurt. It's just always there. Just reminding me it's there.
Oh, I hate those.
So
Like
kind of
literally on the bend of my ring finger, so it's like right there.
Yep.
It's lovely.
That's like usually where I'll get like a puppy tooth cut or a paper cut or any kind of like cut that's going to piss me off for a while. It's always right there on the ring finger in the little crease.
Yeah, I usually I think this was eczema. But usually I have paper cuts. Right now I don't seem to have any. Although I could bust out some hand sanitizer and make sure, but I don't really feel like doing that.
Yeah, but then it'll dry it out and it'll just kind of make things
It
worse.
is the paper cut locator though.
Yeah, that's true. That is true.
If you ever need a paper cut location device, bust out some rubbing alcohol or some hand sanitizer.
Lemon juice.
Good to go.
Yeah.
Nail polish remover does it too.
Yeah.
Anything that's slightly acidic.
Yeah, it'll be surprising. You can cut a couple lemons.
Yep. Oh yeah. Do some dishes. That'll work.
Michael made popcorn and in the process completely destroyed the glass jar. I have no idea what you're doing at your house, Michael. I'm kind of stunned.
I know. I'm like, are you making popcorn in a glass jar? And now you have another video that you need to make. Yeah,
I don't know what's happening. I feel very confused. I feel like we're not getting the whole story here.
I know. I was like thinking to myself, I was like, oh, you know what? I need to buy chopsticks so that I can be as cool as Carrow and eat my popcorn with chopsticks. Yeah. And guess what I found? I have chopsticks. I was like, yes, I can totally be cool. Guess what I don't have? Popcorn. That is correct. I was like,
it's not one thing.
My nephew went through a phase where he ate everything with chopsticks.
Yeah.
Well, like once you like figure out how to do it, you're like, I can do this with everything. Like
Watching
I
him try to
understand
figure out how to make pizza work was about the funniest thing I've ever seen. He was just like, he was certain there was no way he couldn't do it.
Oh,
But he
man,
couldn't figure out what the way to do it would be.
that's when your chopsticks become spears.
Yes.
You're like,
Yeah, and I think he folded the pizza a couple times with and he's a nutter. He has a YouTube channel. It's my favorite YouTube channel on all of YouTube.
Yeah.
He
did have me. He had me rolling the other night when I was watching the dog and the cat.
Oh God, that's his favorite
Talking
one.
Tom. Is that the one where?
Yeah.
Yeah, and they were sitting at the news table, and like the dog was making a noise, and then the cat was making a noise, and for whatever reason, the cat was too drunk to sit in its chair. And then at the
he
end,
likes them to fall out of their chairs.
Yeah, and then at the end, they ended up like wrestling, and I was like, "This is great. This is way too much. This is awesome."
He's got another video where it's just him watching clips of people getting choked in The Simpsons and be like, "Oh no, I don't like that. Nope, don't like that. Don't do that. That's not good." It's ridiculous. It's like 8 minutes. It's so ridiculous.
Oh, funny.
And like a third of the views on it are me.
Yeah.
I can't stop watching it.
Oh,
he's such
man.
a funny kid.
That is fun.
Well, I'm glad you didn't get hurt, Michael. Looks like Michael, the popcorn thing wasn't quite as silly as it sounds, but it could have been more serious.
Great.
Okay,
so here's a question. Do you keep your popcorn in the freezer?
No.
Like loose popcorn, not like bags of like microwave popcorn, but like if you have loose kernels, do you keep them in the freezer?
No. I just keep them in like the cabinet.
Okay.
Yeah.
But I also live in a really dry environment, so
I feel like the freezer is really damp in the Midwest anyway.
Really?
Yeah.
Ours is super dry.
Yeah, no, that's what all that buildup of ice that happens in freezers, that's what that is.
Oh, Where
do you think it comes from?
No, I'm sure that it's condensation, but we don't actually get buildup of ice like on the freezer.
Right. Like my
food gets freezer burns, and but that comes from the food itself.
Right.
The freezer itself isn't.
Like my indoor freezer, the freezer in my kitchen doesn't build up. It's a newer freezer. My outdoor stand-up freezer, sometimes you gotta thaw it out to find the food because
I need to. Oh my goodness.
It is like entombed in ice.
The friend that I used to live with before I lived with my sister, she bought a deep freezer for the basement. It's just a small one, but like we would buy like lots of frozen vegetables, especially during the winter.
Yeah, it wasn't tiny. It wasn't like a counter one.
No, it was. I mean, it was like
a regular household size one.
Yeah. It's not like my sister and brother-in-law have two. They have it's like 7 feet long. I don't know what the sizes are in freezers, so I'm just describing. They have one that's like 7 feet. It's huge. Like it is absolutely huge. And they have like a third of a cow in it, plus like all of this breast milk that she's pumped.
Oh, wow.
They haven't, like, they don't have any use for it, and donating it is a nightmare. And like,
really?
Wait,
why is donating it so hard?
Because there's like 3 places that'll take it here, and one of them won't take it at all because my sister is on a medication for her thyroid.
Okay.
So they won't, like, they just don't take, if you're on medication of any kind, they don't take it. One of them has like super strict, and I understand like none of these are unreasonable.
Right.
but one of them is like super strict guidelines for like the paperwork you have to fill out, and you have to get tested, and you have to do all these things. And then the third one, I don't remember what the third one is, but it's like she works full time. Her husband works full
Are they like at the hospitals?
No. So you
okay,
can
because
donate
ours
it.
are like at the hospitals, and I don't get
Yeah,
the
you
impression
can
that they're
donate
that
it.
difficult.
She could donate to the hospital where they were when her son was born. And I want to say they were going to do that, but there was like they had an overabundance, so they didn't need any more. I don't know if they've checked with the other hospitals and like.
Yeah, because when Elijah was born, I was like a freaking heifer, and I would feed him, and I would still have to pump, and that's what I would do. I would pump it, and then I would donate it. So he got his, and they got theirs, and everybody was happy. But I mean, she can use it. She can still use it for a while,
And
like up to a year is what.
I'm not trying to be real weird. But like nobody's so rich that they don't need any money, and like there's some people on the internet. I'm just saying. The Black Market's like a thing.
They did. They looked into
it.
They did. They looked into it, and it turns out that like selling it is
technically illegal.
It's not illegal.
Okay.
It's because it's hers, like it's her property, so it's not illegal. But like,
just like breast milk is vegan.
Yeah.
Because you can obtain consent.
Right. But in order to like complete that transaction, again, the amount of paperwork that has to be done is pretty substantial. And
so like unless you like have a neighbor who's just like, I'll slide you at 20 for something. Like,
yeah, like shipping it is exceptionally.
Oh, I'm sure that's a thing. Yeah.
If it goes anywhere outside of the city, like if she can't just drive it to somebody's house.
Yeah.
Right.
Or meet them somewhere or whatever.
Or like the cost of shipping drastically outweighs any money she would make.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Liquids are heavy too.
Yeah, they are.
Well, and yeah, because she'd have to like ship it in like a styrofoam box with her dry ice and stuff. But that's all in the cost of that's included in the price of purchasing it, is shipping costs. So but my biggest concern wouldn't be shipping costs and all that other stuff. My biggest concern would be like someone's going to end up getting like raging diarrhea and sue me for medical bills, you know?
Right.
or they're gonna have like a coffee shop where they're making breast milk lattes or something, and somehow it's gonna come back to me, and I'll be like, what? Oh man. No.
Hi, Meadow.
Yeah, so Tyler and Meadow.
Oh,
and was there someone else that just wandered in a moment ago?
Sarah's always trying to be weird. Sarah's not trying to ever be weird, Tyler. She just is. Like
I'm like a magical weird unicorn. Yeah. Like a narwhal on land. Land narwhal.
She doesn't have to try at all. It just comes naturally. It oozes from her like narwhal. Oxygen.
I'm going to need some land narwhal pictures. I'm going to need them now. Okay.
Excuse me while I go to Google.
Oh, man.
They're probably... we're on the internet.
Try it.
And sometimes you don't get what you thought you'd get, but you get something that's good.
Right.
Yep.
That's interesting.
Hi, Tamara. Yes, you should be up in that corner. Or Carrow, or anyone else. There's an empty corner. It's lonely.
Yeah.
Aw, the offspring person is sick. That's sad.
No.
I hope they is feeling better soon. That sucks a lot. It sucks twice because then you are exhausted because you're taking care of a person and you're not entirely sure you're not going to get sick immediately after. So that's a bonus. Okay. Wendy's here. Hello, Wendy.
This is mostly just pictures of unicorns and weird narwhal-like animals with legs.
Well, I guess I'm going to have to figure out how to use GIMP in a different way than I use GIMP now. That's next on the agenda. I mean, not tonight. I'm gonna work on my book tonight because otherwise I'll
it'll
never fucking do it.
get done, right?
Oh goodness.
All right.
Yep.
So. All right. So how is everyone feeling about throwing in a sprint here?
I'd be okay with it.
Yeah,
Let me get my timer back up.
I would feel.
Why am I so fucking strange?
I've met your parents. You really had no chance.
That's true.
And I love your parents, but you were doomed from the start.
I wonder if that's what like people say about my kids, that they're gonna end up being
I've met
like
your mother.
I've met your mother. I know why you're as strange as you are. I know where you get it from.
All right, is somebody gonna count us down? So we all
I
got
will.
timers up.
In 3, 2, 1, go.
crazy alarm has gone off again. Hooray! All right. Dal is here, and so is Destiny. Welcome, welcome. And welcome to Elizabeth Fairfax, who popped in as well while we were sprinting. Great Fry's here. Hello, hello. Welcome.
Hello, hello.
How did everyone do on their sprint? For those of you who have been here, and for those of you who have not, I'm glad you got your notifications all about 30 minutes into the stream, which makes perfect sense. Thank you, YouTube. I would like to point out, I did schedule it ahead of time, so YouTube had time to know when it should go off.
YouTube's just special like that.
The tubes, they hate me.
To be fair, you're not the only one.
That's true. How'd you do?
That's a very good question. That is not my document. That is the other document. That looks like my document, but is not my document. I think I got about 200 words written, which is good. I mean, I'm editing, so in theory, I should be writing, like, cutting words. It's just, I don't know. I think I wrote fewer words in this section than I needed to.
Oh, Steven still hasn't gotten the notification. Welcome. Thank you for coming. Catalea Storm is here too. Welcome, welcome. Don't worry about being late, everybody. We're about to do another sprint. Everything's going to be wonderful. We're all just going to write our little faces off. It's going to be lovely.
I don't want to write my face off. I like my face where it is.
Well, sometimes we don't get to say where our face goes. Have you seen the plastic surgery work that some of Hollywood has had done? Some of their faces went up and to the left.
Yes, but I am not choosing to have.
Well, yours is going to go down. That's not a choice you get to make.
That's a fair point.
I mean, I guess you could claim that you're really excited it's going to move down and that is your will doing it. But physics would indicate that's probably not true.
That's a fair point.
Yes, please, everybody save your work. If you need to stand up, do so. I'm not going to do that because, I don't know, I'm old. I drank some Mountain Dew Zero Sugar because that's what Travis had here. I have my root beer now, but this is actually really good though. If you think Diet Mountain Dew tastes way different than regular Mountain Dew, this actually is way closer. I prefer regular Mountain Dew, but
there's a plastic surgery like place. I don't know what you call it. Like but I go past it maybe twice a week, and it never occurred to me that was a plastic. Like, it looks like a house. Like, it's a very large house, but it looks like a house, and it's on a street where a lot of the houses were. You tell him, Aphrodite.
Aphrodite just sleeps like a bat, and we all know it. She just counteracts it by spending 8 hours a day upside down.
Upside down. Oh.
Oh no, Meadow's little one's fever is 102 now. That's bad. I'm so sorry. That's got to be so much for everybody.
Yeah. Sick babies are not fun.
No.
Everybody's drinking Pepsi.
Yeah.
So I come from a family that drinks Diet Coke. My mom and both of my sisters drink Diet Coke. That's all they drink. And they're not the most awesome. But I don't like Coke.
See, I busted Aphrodite out now. Telling everybody about Aphrodite's upside down sleeping.
Oh,
busting her out all over the internet.
Energy drinks. Okay, so the orange dreamsicles, are those the things that, like, dreamsicles, are those the Those aren't the push pops, are they?
No, I think those are the ones that it's like a popsicle, but it has ice cream in it.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
It's like an
like
orange,
orange covered ice cream. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
I'm not a huge ice cream fan, so or really cold things at all.
No cake, no ice cream.
No cake, no. I mean, like I like ice cream.
Yeah.
She definitely eats ice cream.
Yes,
She sends me pictures when I want ice cream of how she's eating fucking ice cream. So I know she eats it.
I don't send it to you when you want ice cream and I'm eating it. I send you pictures of me eating ice cream and then you say that you want ice cream. So
no, I usually want ice cream. So when you send it to me, you are by default sending it to me when I want ice cream.
Yes, but I don't necessarily do it deliberately.
I didn't say there was a causation. I said there was a correlation.
I heard it in your tone.
No, I think you're getting defensive.
I think my phone is yelling at you.
All right. So let's see. What's going on? What's going on?
Who? Oh, I'm like, who's a wonderful friend? Yes.
Did you actually get to do any work during this?
Well, I refereed and I went and found the Oink because Oink was like crying and she couldn't figure out how to get her ass back in the room.
Damn dog got lost.
I know. I'm like, how could you possibly get lost? Well, she had decided to get herself underneath one of the chairs in the dining room.
Oh.
Yeah, and then because she's Oink, so she like wove herself in between the legs, and then she was like, help, I'm stuck, because she couldn't figure it out. So I had to go find her, and because it's dark and she's got black fur and the house is dark and everything, I was like, oink. And she hasn't quite learned, like, when you hear oink, you need to make sounds so that you can be located.
She hasn't learned Marco Polo yet.
Exactly.
Poor baby.
Exactly. But I did get, I think I ended up getting like 2 sentences written. So it's something. I got 2 sentences and found out that Taco Bell ruined everything by not getting orders correct. So people didn't get the food they asked for. However, they got substituted food and
Wait, is this something that happened today?
Yeah, it just happened right now. Like,
oh no.
Yeah, like I
That's where she disappeared to.
Yes,
oh, okay.
I disappeared into the kitchen to referee the end of the world because people ordered food and the world is coming to an end.
The chat just noticed your watermark, CJ.
My water? No, that is not my watermark.
Well,
that
it's
is your
you.
watermark.
It's you, though.
My face. Yeah.
Yep. There you go. It's funny. I don't care.
Yeah.
I'm glad you enjoy it.
It's ridiculous.
I did. I thought it was great when at first I thought it was Sarah, and then I got a closer look and I was like, oh my God, that's CJ. That is so CJ.
Yep. I was like, let me find the weirdest picture of CJ I can.
With my mouth all open, I don't even know what I'm doing there.
I'll send you the original.
Oh, I was gonna say it looks.
Yeah,
like
you were doing
laughing.
that. You were like, but then flipped upside down. You kind of look like you're singing in a chorus. Like you're like, oh.
Yeah, it kind of does.
Yeah. It looks really great.
I'm so glad it brings you guys joy.
It really does. It really
and
does.
It was up there so long before you noticed it, and I
know.
like broke down and told you about it. Like you probably still wouldn't have noticed it.
No,
this would have been the first mention
fair,
of it. Would
I'm
have been
not
Betty.
great at the whole like observation thing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
it's just not my.
I'm like, and in my position on the camera is like, if I just scoot over just enough, I can almost eat the CJ. Ah!
Don't eat the CJ.
Okay, I won't.
CJ has enough.
All right. Do we want to bust another?
Yes, please.
Thing so we can stop hearing the going over there. Your alarm sounds. That's what that
Yes.
was.
Okay.
That sound.
Like that one.
Yep.
That would be the one.
Yes. All right. Let's do it.
All right.
In 3, 2, 1, go.
Go! crazy alarm, a crazy alarm. Michael somehow had half of his work from the last sprint deleted, and that upset me. He just posted that right before the alarm went off.
Oh, that sucks. I do love your cuckoo clock, by the way.
I think it's fun. So, I'm eating cottage cheese out of a cup.
Uh-huh.
Can you see that? Yep.
It's a Snoopy
1978.
Cup. No, it's an Odie
cup.
cup.
Garfield.
It's Odie and Garfield.
This cup is older than I am.
My grandma used to have cups like that, and she used to have the jelly
Apparently they sell, like, you can sell them on the internet.
Hotcakes? Yeah. Like she used to have these jars that had jelly in them, and then she turned them into cups.
Yes, I remember the Garfield jelly jars.
Yep.
That was a little later, but not much.
Yeah. And
yeah, that was like the early 80s.
She had the like rainbow colored aluminum cups. And like now everybody, so when she passed away, that was the first thing I went hunting for, because I was like, I have to have those. And of course, like everyone was like, they're not safe to drink out of. I'm like, okay, don't we have like aluminum in our multivitamins? But what do I know? I'm not a nutritionist.
Why weren't they safe?
Because they were metal. They were like, it's not safe to drink out of metal. Yeah, like,
well then
Moscow mules are like by default unsafe. Like they have to.
Right, that's what I was gonna say. I had a mule the other day that just
that's
served in a copper.
But if you remember, there was also a period of time where red dye was going to rot a hole in your stomach, and you were going to die from it if you ate it.
Yeah.
So people just believe things.
Right, and that's what because like they were like, you have to have glass, like you always drink out of glass, and I'm like, what? And because here's the truth about Dana, okay? I can't not drop things, okay? Like I used to clench onto my children as infants because I was terrified I was going to drop them. That's how clumsy I am. So for me to have a glass water jug and carry it around and not break it on a daily or weekly basis.
I understand that.
I'm like, no. If my metal water jug was here, I could show you guys just what this poor thing has been through.
Yeah, I have they're like cooler jug things.
Uh-huh.
I don't know what they really are, but they're they're metal inside, and the outside I think I don't know if it's like coated metal or what it is. Like
this particular, I got this at Circle K. I can't even remember how much I paid for it. This is the thing I've had the longest, and for whatever reason, it doesn't break. So when I drop it, the lid just pops off. But here lately, this bottom piece right here doesn't want to stay on anymore because I've dropped it so much.
Sure.
So I'm just saying, I can't be buying $30 glass water things. It's not gonna happen. Okay. What's going on over here? I see something about
talking about gummies.
Moscow mules.
Yeah, so Tyler, I was talking about my car being broken. So yeah, this week, Monday, Travis went to work and I was off. So, the car overheated for him, as it had in my video last week, I think. So he got it over to the shop and the radiator was busted. And then they were like, well, we don't know if the head gasket's busted too. So we could fix the radiator because the radiator was so busted, they couldn't figure out how to figure out if the head gasket was busted, and they ended up figuring it out later. But they were like, then it would be another $2,500 to $3,000. Yeah,
I was gonna say a head gasket is a bitch to replace.
Right. So we were talking about $600 plus to find out if it was just totaled. So it was like, no, it's a $1,500 car. And they ended up figuring out a way to test it, and the head gasket was busted, so the car's dead.
Oh no!
But so that means that I am now hunting for a new car. And that also means that we are homebound because we are a one-car household. So luckily, I live 2 miles from my parents, so they've been helping out, getting me to and from work and stuff. And then one of the ladies at work, her husband came and took me home today. Her husband's friends with Travis. He's not just some like rando.
Random person.
I was just like, hey, lady I've seen before. Can your husband drive me and my kid home?
Oh, wow.
No, we actually know him. So yeah, and so like it's been trying to get rides. Travis borrowed the neighbor's car to go buy groceries. So it's been a mess. Luckily, we have good neighbors, and we get along with them, and they know we're not crazy people. So, yeah, like he thought he was gonna like have the neighbor drive, and the neighbor was just like, "Yeah, just don't wreck my car."
Right.
That's a huge thing. Like I wish that we could do that more often. Like,
well, and we have a friend who's here like 3 days a week. He's like really good friends with the upstairs neighbors. He's like usually here like 3 days a week. His car broke down the same day as ours, and his car's like 2018 or something.
Oh, wow.
good grief.
Yeah, he's got like this super fancy big ass fucking truck thing, and it broke down the same day as ours did. And I don't know that it's been fixed yet either.
All
so
the
like
cars in Rockford went, nope, I'm done.
well, and he's here like 3 days a week, and he lives a block and a half from my office. So like bumming a ride off of him would work really well.
Yeah.
Except he doesn't have a car either. So it's been, and apparently there aren't any rental cars in all of Rockford right now.
Because everybody's car is busted.
Yeah, apparently. Everybody's car busted. And it's not like we had like a lot of years when we had like a -40 spell for 4 or 5 days. After that or during that, everybody's car breaks down. It's -40 fucking degrees.
Right.
It hasn't, I don't know that it's gone below 10 below here all year.
Oh, wow.
Like all winter, not all 2020, all winter.
So you could say that it's been a warm summer.
Warm, yeah, it's been
Or,
really warm here.
a warm winter.
It has been a warm winter. Yeah. It really has been. But like that's usually when everybody's cars break down is like -40 degrees. It doesn't matter how nice your car is. Something can go wrong because that's not normal.
Right.
But yeah, it's not usually like an inch of snow or like it got to 10 degrees or it's really weird.
Yeah.
I'm not riding the bus, Michael. Don't try it.
Oh, no, the bus in Rockford is awful.
It's terrible. No.
We have a friend who used to walk. How far is it from the mall to where Ruby's used to be?
To where Woodman's used to be?
Ruby's.
Oh. Probably about 4.5, 5 miles.
He would walk from the mall to Ruby's so that I could drive him home because he didn't want to ride the bus home.
Oh, wow.
Like,
yeah, it's inefficient, but it's also like just a fucking mess.
Mm-hmm.
And that was 15 years ago.
The bus service has improved since then, like especially like the places they go has improved. But yeah,
that's good.
Yeah, see, Tyler knows. Tyler ain't getting on no buses. Tyler lives in the same city area as me, so he is also aware of the hot mess madness that is Rockford.
Okay. I know. I was like,
we have sympathy for you.
Yeah. Yeah, he's driving around in a car that barely works because he's not going to ride a motherfucking bus either.
Great. Dude, I
commiserated
drove around
on Twitter
a
about
busted
the cars.
axle for a week because I wasn't going to take the bus.
Yeah. And you know what's funny is that like nobody has suggested that.
See?
That you should just...
No, everybody's like, you should Uber.
No. Yeah.
Because
nobody has been like, hop a bus. If I was in a real city that had a real bus service, people would at least suggest like, you can always grab a bus. Yeah. Nobody suggests that in Rockford.
Yeah. That's because they're prioritizing your safety over everything else.
It's weirdly expensive and like their transfer system is a hot mess and it's like more complicated than it needs to be. And
so would it be expensive to take an Uber?
It is expensive to take an Uber, but if I'm going to pay to be comfortable or uncomfortable, I'm going to pay to be comfortable.
Right.
Like, I'm not going to pay to sit next to a dude who's picking his nose and, jerking off through his pants. I'm just not.
Nope.
Nah. I'm good. I'm fat and I'll walk first.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The things I don't know about riding on a bus.
Yeah, no, basically if you go anywhere where people who have almost no money are the primary people, a lot of them will have mental health problems and things like that because you have no money because you're living on Social Security, and thus you end up with things like people, masturbating on the bus, and that happens everywhere. I had a friend who she got banned from the bus. Do you remember that when Emily got banned from the bus?
No.
Okay, this might have been before
you talking
knew Emily.
about it, but I don't.
She got banned from the bus in Chicago because some dude put his hand on her leg a couple times, and she finally just like hauled off and punched him.
Whoa! Wait! So he
got kicked off the bus too, but she punched him on the bus, so they removed her too. And like they were like, "We're not dealing with this. Here's some cops."
Oh my gosh!
Mm-hmm.
But she got banned.
I don't remember how long she wasn't allowed on the bus. It might have been like she just couldn't get back on that day or something. I don't remember.
Oh,
but yeah, she got kicked off the bus.
Like,
she punched him.
That's like, yeah, she should.
Emily's a riot. She's one of my favorite people. She was in
my
way.
hilarious.
I'm like, that's a violation of like everything.
Well, and she didn't like get in trouble with like the cops or anything either. I think he got arrested.
Oh, good.
But like, and he had like put his hand on her, and she said, "Get your hand off me," and then he did it again. Like it wasn't like he touched her once and like brushed up against her and she decked him. No, like it was very clear that he was like, "Bitch, I'm gonna put my hands on you."
Right.
And she was like, "No."
Oh yeah. Oh my God. Well, good for her.
Not.
Oh, Emily is. Oh man,
she has no.
She is like the nicest person on the face of the planet until the moment the switch flips.
Yeah.
And then she's just like savage.
Right.
Yeah. And she's got stories like that where she just did ridiculous shit. Like she worked in downtown Chicago, so James Gandolfini had been filming a movie down there. And she bumped into him. He was like outside of her building having a cigarette, and she came down to have a cigarette. And he was like, and she was like, "Oh my God, you're James Gandolfini." And he was like, "Do you want an autograph?" And she's like, "No, I'd lose it in a second, but I'm going to tell all my friends I saw you." She's just like, she's ridiculous.
Whatever goes through her head comes out her mouth.
Right out her mouth.
Right? No, I'm going to lose it in a second, but I will tell them that I spoke to you.
And she did. She told everybody.
Yeah. That is so awesome.
Yeah. She's ridiculous.
Oh, man.
She's one of my favorite people. I don't see her much, though. She lives in Indiana, so it's a little bit of a trek from northern Illinois. It's not much of a trek from other parts of Illinois, but from here it is. And anytime you have to go through the city.
Ugh.
She lives, like, in the suburbs, so she's actually in Indiana, but she's in the city. But she's just outside of the city.
It's a horrible drive.
I won't.
Horrible drive.
Ask him what it is.
That is not her taco drink.
It is my taco drink, but it's a dark soda, so if it's not diet, I won't drink it.
This is not the taco drink she's looking for.
I usually get like the mango tea, but I didn't specify what I wanted, so then he just brought it to me, and I'm like, and there's no ice in it, and I'm like, somebody else can have it. He's like, I don't know, Elijah ordered it for you, and I was like, I'm sure it's diet something,
right? But just not in the mood to mess with it.
Oh, it's Diet Pepsi. Do you want it? Are you sure?
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
It cracks me up because everybody else in your family is all like, "Don't look at me," and he's all like, "Yeah, bitch, I'm on your stream. I'm here.
Drop off this soda and I'm gonna go."
Okay, he worked all day, and I have had like, so we have heavy cloud cover. We're getting ready for a big rainstorm, and I've got some stress. So I think between no sunlight, lots of stress, and all this other stuff that's going on, my body's like, nope, we are not doing anything. So I just haven't had the mojo to do anything. So this poor kid goes to work, he gets home, and I'm like, dude, I'm going to buy you dinner, but these are the things you have to do for me. And it was two things. He had to go to the store. They're going out into the wild tomorrow. So he had to go get himself some sodas for tomorrow, and he had to go fill my water jugs, which the other child helped him do. And then he had to go pick up dinner. So I'm like, okay, it's not that bad. Plus, he's getting a free meal. However, he came home in a bad mood, so I'm pretty sure his work day was probably shit.
Gotcha.
And then Mini Monster gave him shit because he forgot the apple juice. And here I am. I'm like, here's a list of things I want you to go and do right now. He's like, here's your fucking drink. Drink it. Shut up and be happy.
He's like, yes, it's fucking diet.
I know. I'm like, I know. And then, did you see my shitty response? Well, what is it? What is that? I don't want it. It's a dark soda. Oh man, I feel like an asshole. I have to go apologize to him later. You know.
Well, everybody does dick things sometimes.
So, yeah, I'm one of those people where I think that I'm nice more often than I do dick things, but when I don't just do dick things. I do like battle axe, heads rolling down, and by the time I actually get to just dick status, everybody's dead. So there's no
Don't worry about it. Everybody's dead. It's all over. It's not a big deal.
Yeah, there's no need for me to
everybody's
continue.
dead. You know, being a dick just doesn't have the same.
Everybody's over it now. They're dead. Nobody minds at all. Anybody mind? Nope.
I didn't think so.
None of them mind.
That's right. That's right. And then I let the hounds in to clean up the mess.
Right? And you've even got a dog who's also a pig, so that'll eat up the bones.
Exactly. Oh yeah. Oink. You want to eat some bones?
She's a 2-for-1. She's a dog pig.
Exactly.
Oh my goodness. So one of my students today brought her stuffed animal.
Uh-huh.
Well, I mean, the lesson is at their house, so she didn't bring it far. But the animal's name is Dog Rabbit.
Yeah.
And he prefers to be called Mr. Dog Rabbit.
Ooh, fancy.
And we had to have a discussion about how Mr. Dog Rabbit cannot play the piano because he does not have fingers.
Okay.
Sorry.
You know that
that
Mr. Dog Rabbit's gonna somehow magically grow fingers between now and her next lesson.
I know.
It'll be like paper mache.
I'll be honest, I'm hoping that this is one of those things that she does, because she does these things on a whim. Like, she's 8, so
right.
And she's
right.
delightful, but she was also wearing socks with pigs on them.
Oh, my sister used to have
Claire
when we
would
were
approve.
little.
Right?
Huh?
Claire would approve.
Yeah, my
Claire
sister
Cowder loves pigs.
when we were children, my sister had like an infatuation with pigs. Like she loved pigs. And it didn't make it always confused me because she was in 4-H and her project was the pig project. And she knew what happened. She loved eating pork chops and bacon and all this other stuff, but her favorite animal was a pig. And
Here's my thing.
Okay.
I know that there's a difference. I do know that there's a difference between pigs and hogs.
Right.
But I live in Iowa, where our economy runs on hogs and chickens, and like it's high agriculture.
Right.
And so if you go out to anywhere, within 10 miles of my house, you will probably smell a hog farm, and they smell horrible.
Yeah.
So I have a hard time thinking of pigs as something like cute. And I know potbelly pigs are adorable, and there are lots of good farms that raise pigs like well, but there are too many hog farms here, and so I just associate it with the most disgusting smell you've ever heard.
Like
yeah, I guarantee to you, if there were cat farms, it would be a epic fucking smell. Like,
Oh yeah.
when you take the excrement of an animal and collect it together,
Yeah.
and then just like let it cook in the Iowa sun.
Right.
Oh, wow.
It's bad.
Yeah, it's dead sexy.
Yeah, no, they always had 4 hogs, and just 4 hogs when the wind is blowing in the wrong direction is terrible.
Mhm.
I
Oh,
couldn't
yeah.
imagine an entire farm of hogs. Just
Yeah.
ugh,
Oh,
no.
they're nasty.
Yeah.
And
no.
like it's not like when we go to the state fair, there's a lot of poop because there's a lot of animals.
Right.
But it's not the
I
same
took a
level
picture
of
of the poop.
gross. You should do. It's
I
not
have-
the same level.
I have a spread in my scrapbook from when we went to the Iowa State Fair together, and it took us 12 hours to get to Iowa, or to get to Des Moines, even though it's a 5-hour drive because we're idiots. And we kept stopping and napping, and then we stop and see like random sites.
We walked through several cemeteries.
Yes, and then we stopped at the Field of Dreams.
It was like a whole tour.
And we didn't mean for it to be. We thought we would be really smart. We left early, but then we got tired. It was a mess. Anyway, but on that page is literally a picture of poop.
Well,
It's
I
one
mean,
of
if
the
it was
main pictures on there.
if it was so incredible that you actually took a steamy pile of shit, then it deserves to be in your scrapbook.
I was like, look, there be poop.
I have seen at our fair an epic pile of random animal feces. And then here's the thing I don't understand. Okay, this is how you know the difference between a city child and a country child. Okay, when they climb on the mountain of shit and they think it is the funnest thing on the planet, you know that kid lives in the city. And you're just like, oh,
Whose parent thinks that's a good choice?
Oh yeah, like there will be kids climbing in this mountain, and I'm like, dude, that's
even
poop.
Biff Tannen hates manure.
Right?
Oh yeah,
and he's a shit of a human being.
This is important business.
I cannot tell you how many times. I mean, you hear people yelling at these kids in these manure piles to get the hell off of them, and they're like, "Oh, we're climbing this mountain." And last year, I was like, "It's a mountain of shit. It's shit."
Right.
like, but tell them, hey, if you want to play with poop, we've got plenty of it. You want to come and clean out stalls? Mm-hmm. No, that's poop. Well, what do you think's in your hair, dumbass? Oh yeah. City kids around farm animals, most amusing thing you'll ever see on the planet. I love it. Yeah, because you're just like, woo, I can't wait till they get back in their fancy car. You got like people stripping down in the parking lot. You cannot get in the car until those clothes have been burned.
All right. So, do we want to try to fit another one in here? We literally haven't talked about our topics at all, have we?
I tried. I tried to get it in there. But
I don't know. Right. I have a really hard time prioritizing, obviously.
Poop stories.
Not doing very good at it.
Oh man.
All right.
Should we do another?
Yeah, let's go ahead and do another one. May as well keep them rolling.
In 3, 2, 1, go.
cuckoo alarm has gone off. And we are done with our sprint. How did everyone do? I was taking care of some random little things, odds and ends and stuff. CJ, you're muted. Dana, you're muted. Oh, you guys can't hear me. That's funny. Everybody else could, but you couldn't. It didn't unmute me on Zoom. So, yeah, the stream could hear me.
Well, I'm glad somebody could.
Yes, they could hear me. So, we're all done. How did you guys do?
I did none of my own work, but I did some other people's, like, I did some looking at stuff for somebody else.
Yeah, I did a couple of odds and ends things. And...
Yeah. Yep. That's where I was trying to eat a burrito.
Trying to eat a burrito.
I know. I was trying to hide it too. I was doing a whole lot of down here. Then I was like, that probably doesn't look appropriate. But hey, it's Sarah's stream.
Right.
Shit happens all the time.
So Mom in Kuwait was asking about how we're doing this. And there's a couple of different ways to do this. Right now, what I do is I use Zoom and a program called OBS that broadcasts onto YouTube. You can also just use, what is it called? Streamlabs?
StreamYard.
Streamlabs is OBS. Maybe. I don't know. Anyway, StreamYard does all of that for you, and it lays them out, and you can have up to 6 people on. So...
Unless you purchase the package, and then you can have more than 6.
Can you have more if you purchase?
Uh-huh.
I did not know that.
But, for us broke indies, we do it free, so you get 6. And I guess there's also like a limit of 20 streaming hours. So
yes, for the unpaid StreamYard, StreamYard, right? There is some sort of limit. I don't know what it is. There is for unpaid Zoom too. Unpaid Zoom only runs for, I think, an hour at a time. My husband runs a Twitch channel for a company, and then he runs his own Twitch channel, and then I stream, so we pay for Zoom. So, but I mean, it's like literally a write-off for us. So that's why we use Zoom. Okay, now there's a conversation about Dal being told that using italics for thoughts is wrong. I don't think that's necessarily true. I do know that I have read in the past that what do you call them? Agents and things tend to, their eyes get more tired because they read so much. And so some of them prefer for you to use underlining in their copies that they read because it's easier on their eyes.
I actually had to look this up because I had like internal thought and flashbacks in my in the book I just released. And it does say that internalized thoughts should be done in italics. So if it's an internal conversation, it should be done in italics so that the reader knows that this is the character speaking internally. Because there was some confusion between, like, if you're talking about a memory versus internal thought. And so some people will say to italicize the entire like flashback, but you don't have to do that. But internal thought should be italicized.
That's how I've always
That's also a style decision.
Well, yes.
Yes. Like, but there are definitely authors
it is
who
the manual of style.
Right.
So
there are definitely authors who don't tell you in any way. There are definitely authors who like don't use punctuation the way that you're supposed to use it, or who don't use quotation marks. Like, those things do exist. So there is not a right answer ever. There is always preferred, what's easier for people, what's comfortable for people. But when you break it down and you're doing art, there are always ways and reasons to break the rules. And then styles are, that's a preference to some extent. So it does depend to some extent on what your preferences are and what works for you. And, if you're a person who italics is really troubling for you to read, like it just bothers your eyes, you probably choose not to do it that way.
Right.
you know? So, I mean, it really is kind of up to you. That's the thing we kind of forget is that we do have a lot of choices in this whole shebang. You also get to choose, you know, like when you're publishing your own book, you get to choose your font as long as you have the rights to it. You get to choose, you know, how you do your layout. Like some people do, whenever the new chapter comes up, you just start a new page and do a new chapter. I prefer for my new chapters to always be on the right-hand side. Like, it just kind of depends on what your preferences are and things like that. So, like, calling things right and wrong, while, yes, there are things that are preferred or things that are considered, especially for, like, if you're talking about writing for, like, professionally, that's a whole different bed of worms. Like, that's a whole different thing. When you're writing professionally, then you have to follow certain rules and things like that. Like, as far as, like, if you're writing a nonfiction kind of thing.
Well, if you're writing like a production manual, or
or you're writing for your job, or if it's non-creative.
Yeah, and the things that, like, I used to write a lot for my job, and we had very specific guidelines for what to use when, like not just fonts and margins, but also like when do you use quotations versus italics? When do you use italics versus underline? When do you use bold? Like, there were guidelines for each of those things. So,
yeah. And I think that, I mean, I'm not going to say Shaylin is wrong. I think that that's Shaylin's preferred style of writing.
Or the company she worked with, or her genre's style. Or that's the other thing is, like, if you're talking about a memoir, you're going to have different rules than if you're talking about a fantasy. Like, there's so many different things that go into it that, like, calling something always right and always wrong is probably going to make you incorrect.
Right. In some way.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. And so just always take it with a grain of salt when someone tells you this is the way this is done, period, the end.
Right. And I think that she advertises her channel as she's worked in this professional field or whatever. But she's a literary writer. Right. And she needs to clarify that this is specifically the area, the department that I worked in, and it may be different for other genres.
Literary writing tends to be a lot closer to the typical rules. Unless it is a very specific use of breaking those rules.
Yes.
They tend to break them much more purposefully than like, say, like, what would you call it? I don't want to minimize anything. I'm not a fucking literary writer, so I'm not trying to, like, denigrate any area, but, like, then a narrative fiction piece that is not literary. And I know there's a word for it, and that word is just escaping me at the moment.
I know. I wish that I could help you out there, but it's like, is it? Yeah.
Popular fiction. There you go. That's what I'm like. If it's a popular fiction, it's going to be different than it is if it's literary fiction.
I hope we haven't just confused now.
Mom in Kuwait said I was researching for spam words in chat, and I got you from the search bar.
That would be us.
If you want to know how not to do some shit, you are in the right place. You have wandered into the correct channel.
That's right. That's right. We will tell you how to do all of the things and some of the things you shouldn't do. No.
That's where we're at.
Send seriousness. I totally agree with you. I prefer italics for, one or two line, maybe a paragraph or two worth of thoughts. But if it's like a long-term thing, if I'm looking at a chapter worth of information, then I want you to transition and tell me some other way.
Yeah. Yeah, because and the reason why I stumbled into the should I italicize it or not was the flashback that I was writing was a pretty lengthy flashback. So not letting the reader know that this is what was happening confused the people that I was working with. It was like, well, wait a minute. And even the subtle speech where they were talking in past tense wasn't enough of a clue to say, okay, this happened in the past.
Right.
And that's why I ended up looking it up, because I was like, okay, well, how can I do this so that it doesn't confuse my reader? Because ultimately, that's who I'm writing for.
Right, and that's the other thing, is that you do need to keep in mind that your comfort level matters, but also other people are supposed to be reading this in theory,
Yes.
so taking them into account might be useful.
Okay. I'm glad that we were able to clarify that for you, Dal. That's what we're here for.
Yeah. Well, and I don't think for a second that she was. I don't think she was intending to like come across that way. My assumption is that she just was telling you how she does things, and she's a lot. Her background is a lot different than everyone else on this channel's background.
Yeah.
So that also enters into it. So.
Right. Well, and I think that because Shaylin works specifically in a specific genre that's why she would word it the way that she did, and that may have, and that's why Dow had this question. Right. And I'm glad that she was able to. I don't think in any way whatsoever Shaylin was being malicious.
No, it was a video about the mistakes she's made.
Yeah, she's just giving you. Yeah, she's just giving you her insight.
Yeah.
On her travels through this.
Yeah, I do see though when I see people talking about problems they have with the AuthorTube community in general, one of the things I see most frequently is people saying that like AuthorTubers tend to tell you that this is the only way to do this thing. So I want to make it very clear that writing is still a creative endeavor. So
yeah, don't
think that you can never work outside of the rules.
Right.
And I'm not saying you should just, oh, fuck it, who needs grammar? But like,
well, yeah,
you can definitely wiggle the rules a little.
Well, yeah, you can definitely. I mean, grammar is essential to a good story, but you can definitely put a twist on it from time to time. You can't just throw it all out and be like, well, this is the way I do it, and if you don't like it, tough.
Right.
Yeah.
I had a professor in college who once said that he had always been told you learn the rules so that you know which ones you can break without causing too much problem.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's true in a lot of things. I think we get hung up on the rules in writing because there are so many people who will tell you that there's no way around those rules and to work with those rules. But the fact of the matter is that every time somebody comes up with a different idea inside of a genre, like we're going to do this slightly different, they are breaking rules.
Yeah.
Like that's what makes something interesting a lot of the time is when, Jack Kerouac, when he started writing, people thought he was interesting because he broke all the rules.
Yeah. Right.
I don't like him, so I'm not fucking endorsing him. But that was the reason people enjoyed it. It was different. It was breaking the rules. It took the rules and it you still could read it. It still made sense to some people. But like that was what stood out about it.
Right.
I love how you put that in there.
Cormac McCarthy is glaring at you from the corner.
I know. I will admit that I have no idea who that is.
Oh,
and
no.
Therefore, I am looking that person up.
You might like Cormac McCarthy. Cormac McCarthy is kind of like a weird hybrid between me and you. It's very strange. There's like this very countryness to it, but there's also this very dark and creepiness. So you might actually enjoy it.
Oh, right on.
I like Cormac McCarthy. That's college's fault.
Southern Gothic, very interesting.
Yeah, it's a very strange kind of hybrid, but he has an amazing voice.
Oh, he wrote No Country for Old Men. Mm-hmm. That's awesome. Yeah. I know
it is not the same as the movie.
Yeah.
And there's definitely at least one book where the main character fucks dead bodies. So that's there. That's a thing that I recall happening. I don't remember them a lot. I haven't read much since college, but there's definitely some dead body sex. I'm pretty sure. Yes, I think it's the road that I'm actually thinking about, the primary one that like really sticks out to me at like as incredibly like. Ooh. And that might be the first one I read was the road. That was my writing teacher in college, Wes Berry's fault. So, should he ever stumble upon my YouTube channel, as he is my Facebook friend, I would imagine he would definitely make it about 2 hours into a live stream. That would make perfect sense. But yeah, my knowledge of that is entirely his fault. So.
Very cool.
There
I will
you go.
definitely have to check
That's the
him
thing
out.
you know now.
And once I get to the sex with dead bodies, I'll be like, we're going to.
I think Tamara wanted a trigger warning. Sorry, Tamara. If you're on my channel, somebody might fuck a dead body. I don't know what to tell you.
After they chase the raccoons away.
Right.
Oh my goodness.
Woo! Oh, this silliness is beginning.
Oh man, yeah, and we're at the 2 hour mark here, so we should probably really wrap up before we make assholes out of ourselves.
Yeah.
I'd also like to drink the little bit of wine I have in my kitchen.
Absolutely.
I encourage that.
All right, so who wants to go first?
I went first the last time.
Dana, go first and tell us all about your new book.
All right, so I am Dana Gollin, and I write under the pen name Ava Fox, and I recently put out a new book called Seasons of Seduction, Independence. It is the first book in a collection that I'm working on, and it is spicy. So if you like spicy adult-only content, go on over to my website. Is there a link in the description?
There's a link to the website and to your YouTube down in the description.
Awesome. So you can find it on my website, and you can find it at Amazon as well under Ava Fox.
Ava Fox, real easy, 6 letters. Y'all can get it.
Exactly.
I believe in you. I believe in you. All right. See, I don't just sing randomly in the car. I do it all the time.
That's right.
You guys,
All
okay,
the time,
just
people,
for reference.
you have no idea. No idea.
I just want to let everyone know, for reference, when you guys are like, she sang a lot this week. No, I didn't. I cut out 3/4 of my singing every week. So, and it never makes sense, and it's always the same damn tune. And I just make shit up and stick it in that tune when I'm driving down the road. Now I'm not driving anywhere because I don't have a motherfucking car.
That's okay. You can walk and sing.
I live in a rough neighborhood. That might not be a great idea.
Okay,
I actually live in a neighborhood that is just outside of the area of the active serial rapist in town, so that's good.
Oh, Jesus. Are you serious?
Yeah. Home invasion serial rapist.
Oh, my gosh.
Mhm.
I'm coming to Rockford.
Yeah. Yeah, it's...
Dana's on a mission to protect her friends.
That's right.
I don't know.
Me and my
I'm 6 foot
screwdriver.
tall and he's 5'4", though, so, you know. Just saying.
It's like a little Oompa Loompa rapist.
Yeah, he's but like it's like I think
I'm not laughing.
No, it's just kind of a ridiculous image of this tiny little dude. They're saying he's like in his 18 to 25 or something, and but they also now, okay, so there's this local website that used to monitor the scanners. The police didn't like it, so they got the scanners encrypted.
Mm-hmm.
So you can't hear the police scanners anymore, which I think is technically an issue. But I'm not going to go fight them to the federal courts, so whatever. But that place broke the story about the serial rapist. The police department pretended it wasn't happening. That place is now saying there are more areas that these rapes have occurred in, and that they're getting reports that there's at least 3 more on the other side of town.
Oh, my God.
Yeah. Yeah, and apparently the cops are trying to silence these people. And the dude, like, by all accounts, the dude is not the most with it. But they were right about this the first time.
Oh my God.
And when they broke the story, the cops had to break down and release a sketch and stuff. They
had to
didn't
break down because it was really inconvenient.
They weren't
for them.
going to tell us there was a serial home invasion rapist.
Oh my God.
Yeah, they didn't. Yeah.
Somebody need to have their job revoked and get a new copper in town. I gotta let Oink out. Hold on, I'll be right back.
It's also a distinct possibility that someone,
Oh, here.
a handful of sexually assaulted people in this town have the right to kick a couple of cops right in the balls.
Great.
It's the oinks.
Oh, it's annoying.
She gains like 3 pounds a day or something.
All right, before I put her outside, you guys want to say hi to her real quick?
Hello, Chunky Monkey.
Hi.
Tamara's waiting for you.
That's right.
Tamara's puppy.
This is Oink, the dog pig. The pig dog. The pig dog.
She's a pig and a dog.
She's so freaking cute.
I said the other day when you were on one of your streams that her tongue is on camera more than the rest of her is. She just can't keep that thing in her mouth. It is out of control. It has a mind of its own.
I know. Well, and she's getting so big, I can't like hold her whole body up anymore. Yeah.
She's like, let me kiss you.
Her face. Yeah.
I know. All right, let me put her out. She wants to go see her mom. Bobby.
All right, CJ, why don't you do your thing?
Go see
Right.
mom.
I'm CJ Blair. I write things. Right now, you can find my free YA fantasy serial down below, the South Deer Island Chronicles. Yeah, go read it. I'm going to have a new episode up shortly. We're going to
I believe
pretend
in you.
that it'll be before Sunday.
Okay. And I am Sarah Sharnover, and this is my channel. And I do stupid things here. On Friday nights, we live stream. And on Sundays, I put out a video, usually on Sundays. Although, the last couple weeks, Premiere and I have had problems. So, if you don't see it till Monday, don't lose your mind over it. I'm going to adopt a Sunday/Monday schedule at some point. And then on the first and third Wednesday of every month, I have my YouTubers video, which came out this past week, and you guys should totally go watch it. And subscribe to all of those people, or go visit them, or don't, because fuck me, whatever. Anyway.
No.
Okay, so don't forget to subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. Leave a like or a dislike, fuck me, who cares, down below. And I guess that does it. So we'll see you guys all next Friday.
Bye.